Stitch might be cute and fluffy, but he was created to be one of the most dangerous monsters in the galaxy, with his primary function to destroy everything he touches. So he's kinda super powerful. And so today, we're gonna put that to the test by putting Stitch against a whole gauntlet of different heroes. We're gonna rank a whole bunch of animated characters based off their chances of beating Stitch, with either no shot at beating him, they could land a few punches, the fight could go 50-50, or they can actually beat Stitch. So let's get to it. Long ago, evil scientist Jumba Jukiba made it his life mission to create the perfect genetic experiment to take over the world. After 625 failed attempts, he finally made what he saw as the ultimate experiment. Experiment 626 was physically the strongest experiment he had created, along with a host of many other abilities, such as being bulletproof, fireproof, having the brain of a supercomputer. Its main purpose? Destroy large cities and take over the world. Unfortunately for Jumba, he was discovered making this experiment and was sentenced to a life of prison, with 626 being banished to a life of exile on a distant asteroid. Not wanting to be left to die, 626 broke out of his containment unit and hijacked a ship, heading in a random direction, hoping to escape. Through sheer luck, he managed to land on a tiny island known as Hawaii on Earth. After being knocked out and waking up in a dog shelter, he was adopted by Lilo and given the name Stitch. It was at this point he realized that Hawaii had no large cities for him to destroy and was surrounded by his biggest weakness, water. With his original purpose being useless to him, for the first time, Stitch had to find his own purpose in life. Eventually, Stitch did find the one place he belonged, right there on Hawaii with his new family Lilo and Nani. It's a good thing he was reformed from evil too, because soon after that, all 625 of Jumba's experiments had landed on the island with them. Because they were all related to Stitch, Lilo and Stitch took it upon themselves to capture every experiment, turn them from evil to good, and find the one place where they truly belonged. After all, if it worked for one evil genetic experiment designed for world-ending chaos, why not 625 more? Stitch is incredibly strong and powerful, able to lift up to 3,000 times his own body weight, which came in as 2 whole bulldozers, which can range a lot in weight, between 8 to 180 tons. But Stitch has also been able to pick up whole houses. He can casually stop an 18-wheeler and spin a semi-truck over his head. He's very, very strong. He's got no problem using that strength to send people just flying. Stitch's insane power is explained by him having a power cell inside of him that contains the power of 2 colliding planets. And sometimes, this power cell can get supercharged, allowing Stitch to basically go Super Saiyan. He's also insanely tough and is basically completely invincible, like it's nearly impossible to actually put Stitch down in a fight. He's been casually run over by semi-trucks. He can take all sorts of plasma blasts, even catch them in his hands, with these plasma blasts being able to one-shot cars. He's fallen from up in the air and crash-landed off some mountains, and just fine. Stitch even casually created an explosion inside of a volcano to basically launch himself up into orbit. He's dang near indestructible. But probably the most surprising thing about Stitch is that he's an absolute genius. He's got the processing power of a supercomputer and is just as smart as the mad scientist Jumba, who's claimed to have the intellectual power of whole galaxies. And that perfect combination of power and intellect has allowed Stitch to save the universe several times over. Mr. Incredible could probably land a few good punches on Stitch because the guy is super strong, has been a superhero for years. You can't teach that kind of experience. There's a reason why he was one of the only heroes to actually beat an Omnidroid by himself. But even if Mr. Incredible has a strength advantage over Stitch, well, it's not by much. On the flip side, while Stitch is way faster, way tougher, and honestly, way smarter. Don't think he'd actually lose this one. Yeah, Beast has no shot. If Gaston was giving Beast a good fight as just a super buff human, Stitch is going to easily take him down, no question. But flip side, well, there's no question that Hercules is beating Stitch. Sure, Herc has probably never fought against someone like Stitch before, but he's a demigod with plenty of experience and enough power to take the Titans and fling them all the way out into outer space. Think he can definitely beat Stitch. Same with Invincible. No doubt he's beating Stitch either. Sure, Stitch is super powerful, but he's probably maxing out at some of his black hole feats. The Ultramites can apparently do that stuff pretty casually, and Invincible is just working his way up the Viltrumite hierarchy. Stitch takes a few punches, max, and then Invincible is putting him down. Sully has no shot at taking down Stitch. Sully is just a pretty strong monster that lives in essentially a normal world. He was getting beat up by Randall. Stitch takes on cousins that are better than Sully on a daily basis. This will be easy for him. Puss in Boots could land a few punches on Stitch, but ultimately don't think he's beating Stitch. Now, I debated putting Puss in the 50-50 category, but ultimately, well, I just can't think of a good way that Puss in Boots actually beats Stitch. The main thing that Puss in Boots has over Stitch is that he's a better and more skilled fighter. But Stitch just so way outstats Puss that Puss can't overcome that. Stitch is way stronger, he's way faster and more agile than Puss in Boots, and honestly, he's just too tough. He's probably too tough for Puss in Boots to even hurt with his sword. Stitch can take on cousins who can cut cars in half and not even be phased. Stitch should win this fight pretty much every time. I'm gonna say that Tai Lung belongs in the 50-50 category for Stitch, because it's as simple as Stitch has the stats, while Tai Lung has the skill. Now, Tai Lung would have to really go all out and fight a perfect fight in order to overcome Stitch's massive stat advantage. Stitch really is just that stupid overpowered. But if Tai Lung's fighting at his best, well then I could see him actually taking Stitch down. I'm putting Toothless in the 50-50 category, because Toothless is a great and powerful dragon, but really the main thing that he has over someone like Stitch is speed. I mean, Toothless is able to break the sound barrier and move faster than lightning. Stitch is very fast, but Toothless is probably faster. Toothless also obviously has the flight advantage too, but that's kinda where it stops. Stitch is way stronger than Toothless. Most importantly, he's way tougher than Toothless, and there's not a whole lot that Toothless can do to put Stitch down for good. Maybe Toothless could drop Stitch in water, but it's also just as likely that if Stitch gets a hold of Toothless, well, Toothless is done. Shrek is definitely not beating Stitch. No way. Shrek is probably stronger and tougher and more athletic than you'd think, but ultimately he's just got no shot at actually doing anything to Stitch here. Stitch easily wins this one. Titan can definitely beat Stitch, although Stitch would probably make it difficult for him. Titan is notoriously a coward. He ran screaming as soon as he came across someone more powerful than him. But the thing is, Stitch isn't more powerful than him. Titan was casually tossing around skyscrapers. Stitch couldn't even lift more than 2 bulldozers. Massive strength and speed advantage here, and Titan is going to easily take it. Elsa could probably land a few good punches here, but Stitch can definitely take her down. Elsa has the potential to freeze him solid, but Stitch has fought against Ice Cousins before and done just fine. Then really, it would just take one touch from Stitch to knock Elsa out, and he can definitely do that. She's got the potential to give him a good fight, but he's winning pretty much every time. Maui is taking down Stitch no problem. The demigod is seriously powerful. I mean, he's strong enough to lift up entire islands. He's got plenty of versatility with the hook. And Maui is one of the few guys on this list that's actually tougher than Stitch too. Maui and Stitch would probably just be buds, but Maui could definitely beat him. Wreck-It Ralph has no shot at beating Stitch, because the only thing that Ralph has going for him is that he's pretty strong and he's pretty tough, while Stitch is both stronger and tougher, not to mention way faster, smarter, and more skilled and experienced. Easy dub for Stitch. I'm gonna put Poe in the 50-50 category here. Now, there's really no doubt in my mind, Stitch wildly outclasses Poe when it comes to physicality. Like, he's way stronger, way faster, way tougher, way smarter. The flip side is that Poe really outclasses Stitch when it comes to skill. He's the Dragon Warrior, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and could potentially straight send Stitch to the spirit realm if he lands the right move. Basically, this fight is close. It's really close. But if I gotta choose, I think Stitch just has too much of a stat advantage to lose, because seriously, the little blue furball is kind of broken when it comes to power, and I think he can win here. Lastly, well, we got Pikachu. And for as powerful as Stitch is, well, Ash's Pikachu is even more powerful, and he can definitely beat Stitch. Not saying Stitch isn't super tough, it could take quite a few attacks from Pikachu, but Pikachu is literally one of the strongest Pokemon in the whole anime, and can regularly fight against and actually beat legendary and super powerful Pokemon. He could beat Stitch too.